Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how you can make Krunker renders with Blender, the 3D modeling software. Alright, so first of all you're going to download Blender. So go to the Blender website, down in the description below. You can click on download Blender and then just click on this and it will download the installer. And once you do download the installer, you can just install Blender and then you can open it up like this. And this is what Blender looks like. Once it opens, just click over here and you'll see a camera, a cube and a sun. Now I've already done a tutorial on how to use Blender on my YouTube channel, so you can watch that, and after that you can come back to this on, and this basically going to show you how you can make Krunker renders. Okay, so you just choose all of this, click on X and click on delete. Now you can append your Krunker rig, and I've put that in the description below. Once you download it, I have it right here, char5.blend, and what I do is I click on file, append, and then I find my desktop. I find char5 as you can see here, and you double click on that, click on collection, and you have this. Just click on this and click on append, and then you'll have the Krunker rig right here. Now this is the Krunker render basically, but it's not a render because it's just a rig. So you just click on this one of these lines over here, change this from object mode to pose mode, and then you can just move all of this. To move this, you can just click on G and move it. If you want to move this, you can click on G and then move it. And if you want to click on this, you can click on G and then move it. And to turn it, you can just use G. And same applies for all of these. To move the leg like this, you can click on G and do this. And if you want to turn the legs, you can just use this. And it's all just clicking on G and then doing it. And to, let's say you want to turn the head, just click on this and turn the head as you would like. Alright, so I'm just gonna make it back to where it was. Alright, now first of all you have to know what you're gonna do with this. Now for example, let's say I want to render. How am I gonna make this render, or at least what skins am I gonna use, what am I gonna add to the Krunker render? And now this is the best example I have. I have this just a random render that I chose from the Krunker texture viewer, krunker.io slash viewer.html. And so I have the celestial harvester AK, I have the angelic guardian hat, and the aimbot face. Okay, so yeah, so I have the, okay, let's just take the space captain face instead. Alright, so I want to use all of this for my render, which is a very, it's not hard. So just reload your page, click on F12 on your keyboard, and you'll get this thing. Just go into, yeah, it'll just go on to network, keep it like that, and change to whatever you want. So for example, I want the celestial harvester, and once I do this, I'll have this and I'll have this, which are both the models for the AK. So I right click, I open a new tab, and then I'll have this. I'll save image as, and then I'll just save it in my downloads, and then I'll close this. I'll open this in new tab, and this is the emission, which is basically the glow. So I just save this, and then once I do that, now I need the model for the AK. So I just choose the default. Well, we can take care of that later. Now you want the head item. So that's the guardian angel head item, which is over here, angelic guardian. You click on it and you'll get everything you want. So this is the object, which is the model. So open a new tab and it'll automatically download, and then right click on this, open a new tab, and this is the texture for the angelic guardian head item, and then you can close that. And now you need the face, which is the space captain face, so you just click on it. You have the object over here, you open a new tab, then you have the face over here, you right click and open a new tab and save it, and there you go. Now you have everything except for the AK model. So just if you want the AK model, just reload this page, and I'm pretty sure you'll automatically get the AK model somewhere over here. Yeah, weapon underscore 2.obj, right click, open a new tab, and there you go, you have it downloaded. Now you've gotten all the skins, models and textures you need for the render. Now that's all done, and I'm going to show you how you can import those all later. Now you've done this, you have this render. First of all, I'm going to click on this, which is the shading tab. It basically shows colors. It's not the final render, it's just shows colors of whatever you're going to render, I guess. That's the most simple way, at least. Now it'll take a while to actually show, and then you have this is what it's going to look like. Now first of all, I recommend you do nothing except import all your stuff that you downloaded. So for example, you have the AK skin over here, as well as the AK model, then you have the face model and the face texture, the hat texture, hat model and the hat texture. So first of all, you go to file and import, then you go to obj, you go to downloads and you search .obj. Now now first of all, I'm going to do a weapon because that's the most important, I assume. So I'm going to double click on this, and as you can see, it just comes over like this. It's really huge. So what you do is you just click over here, S0.001, and now it's gonna basically decrease. And if you want to know how I did that, I just clicked on the weapon over here, I clicked on S, and then I typed 0.001, and that's how I did. And yeah, now first of all, we're just gonna add the texture for the weapon. So I usually just go to the shading tab, but instead of that, you can just do an easier method, which I usually use. You just drag this part out, you click on this, and then you click on shade editor, and now you can just add your texture. Now your texture is just going to be dragged in, but that's how I do it, at least. So you have the weapon underscore 2 underscore 429 texture, you drag it and you drop it onto here, and then you connect this color node to the base color of the object. So you just wait for it to come, and there you go, that happens. And now since you want the glow for the texture, you drag in the underscore E texture, which is just emission, and you drag it and drop it, and you connect this color to emission over here. Wait for that to happen. Alright, so you have a glow, and you have just the usual texture. Now that's all done. What do we do next? Yeah, we'll just import the head item. So I'm going to import obj, and I'm going to import hat 319, and just double click. You have the hat right here. I'm going to turn it about this much. I'm going to change this to 90. It'll automatically turn that much. You click on the model, drag this up, and find the texture for the hat. So I have it over here. Drag it, drop it, and connect the color node to the base color. And since the hat doesn't have an emission or glow, you don't have another underscore E file, so you just have this. And now the hat's not done yet. Why, people might ask? Because you have to click on it, go to base, just wait for a while. You don't have to do this for every hat, it just happens to this one specific hat that I happen to choose on the day I make a tutorial, which is really unfortunate, but you don't need to do this part, it'll just automatically happen. You just have to import the object, the model of the hat, and just add the texture, drag and drop the texture and connect it to a base color. Alright, now after you've done that, what else do we have? Yeah, so we have the face. Now the face is the trickiest part of them all. The importing is just really easy. You just file, import, object, obj, and I'm going to import the face underscore 0, and then click on it, drag this up, find the face texture, drag and drop it over here, and you connect it, and that is done. Now however, you have some other stuff to do. First of all, you're going to choose the weapon, and you're going to basically what's the word, you're going to parent it to one of the hands for it to look like the character is holding the gun. So what I usually do is I click on the weapon, I go to here, which is the object properties, I go to relations, then there's this thing called parent. You just search for armature, I just click on armature, then I change this object to bone, and then I search for R hand, which is the right hand. If you want to do it to the left hand, you can just click on L hand, you can just type L hand and it'll come on. Now I have the right hand appended to this. Right, now I'm just going to show you what it does. If I go to pose mode here and change this, if I go to pose mode here and I can change this, the weapon moves with it, which is really interesting. Alright, now to properly make this weapon, look proper, I guess, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to object properties. I'm going to rotate this in the Z axis up till 90. Then I'm going to make the location Z. I'm going to increase the location Z just a bit, and then I'm going to use the Y to just make it so that the hand goes right below the trigger goes right below the hand, right above the hand. Okay, so now I have that figured out. Now I have to do the hat item. So just click on object properties again, click on the hat, go to parent, armature, then go to bone, change that to head, and you'll just get it to head. Now I have to change this to 90 degrees of Y. Then I'm just gonna move this manually over here, and yeah, I'm just gonna manually move this over here and just move it down up till, yeah, that's this seems pretty good. Yeah, alright, so once I did that, you have to do the face, which is honestly just the most annoying part. Alright, so go here, click on the face, go to relations, parent, armature, then you go to object and change to bone, then you go and change to head. Yes, head again, even though it's not a head item. Alright, now as you can see, the face is turned this way, so I have to change this rotation to 0, and then change the this rotation to 90, and now it's perfect like that. Now I'm gonna drag it down, just down up till the point where the yeah up till the point where this happens. Now if you want to see what the face looks like behind the head, head item at least, I'm just gonna click on the head item and click on this, so you can't see the head item for now. And I'm gonna drag this down up till the point where this appears. Now this is perfect actually for the head. I'm gonna switch on the hat item again, and now I have this. But now you're gonna ask me, why does the face item look black? Well, that's because of the alpha. So click on the face item again, drag the shader editor above, and connect this alpha node to this alpha node. And no, that's not it. You're gonna wait until it loads up, and then you're gonna click on material properties, just scroll down, and then click on viewport display. Sorry, never mind. Go to settings. Over here you have this settings thing. Go to blend mode and change it to alpha blend, and it'll load up, and basically what it'll do is it'll make your face transparent, meaning it'll look like it's in Krunker. So just give it a while. It does take a while to load. If your computer is faster, it'll probably take less time. And there you go. And now I know it looks a bit scuffed from certain angles. If you think it looks a bit too scuffed, just drag it a bit front. And if you want to do it a bit more efficiently, just click on object properties and just alright, that's perfect. Yeah, now you can see the face item properly, you can see the gun, you can see the head item, and now you're ready to pose the character, which is pretty easy. Alright, so you click on this, you click on pose mode, change it from object to pose mode, then you choose the place where the gun is held, you drag it to the side, drag it to the bottom a bit, drag it over here, then drag it over here, and now you have this. Now you'll realize that the gun is a tad too big. So what you do is you click on the gun, change to object mode, click on the gun, click on S, and then move this a bit below. What that'll do is that'll basically just make the gun smaller, which in this case is needed. So then you can just change this to about 0.17. Yeah, that will work. And now you change back to pose mode, and you can change this. Now I'm not gonna do a really good pose or whatever, you can figure that out by yourselves, I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna do this for the tutorial itself. Yeah, so I am guessing this would be enough. Now we're gonna change the leg position a bit, because the legs always should be moved to a certain angle, since you know it wouldn't look real if it isn't. So that would be pretty good, I'm guessing. And we're gonna change the head item, as say that the head as well, the position. And by the way, as you can see, when you move the head, both the head item and the face item move with it, because you parented it to the you parented it to the head. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the weapon a bit bigger, increase the S, and then I'm gonna change the location. I'm gonna change the location just a tad, and this just a bit more, and now that looks great. Honestly, I love it. Next, what you do is I don't usually tell because I completely forget is click on the weapon, go to the shading tab, just drag it up. Then what you do is you go to specular over here and just drag it almost down, just make it 0.1 maybe. This will basically just, I don't know why it does, it just makes it look better. It just makes it look better. That's all I need to know. Click on the hat item and do the same if you can. 0.1 would be perfect. The face item, I just put the face item to 0 because I don't know. Yeah, and now you have a render. Now what you do next is you go and add, you click on add and you add a camera. Now this is just gonna add a camera, and what you do is you go to a suitable position somewhat, and click on Control Alt and 0, and then it'll just bring this camera where you're looking at. Now it's gonna look weird, I know. Just click on N view, just click on this, click on camera to view, and then adjust it the way you want. So I'm gonna adjust it about there, and since it is kinda a bit too close, I'm just gonna do it like that, and that seems pretty good. Yeah, alright, so after you've done all of this, you go to world and you'll see this is not to be reckoned with, not to be done with anything. But what I usually do is I go to this world, I change from object to world, then I click on Shift A, search for environment texture, click it, connect this color node to this color node, the background color node, and I open a HDRI file which I can find on polyhaven.com. The HDRI I usually download would be something called Imenstedta Horn, which is a really weird name, but yeah, it's a real place, I suppose. Okay, so you find this Imenstedta Horn, you click on it, you go and change to 2K, that's what I usually use, and you download it. And then once you have it downloaded, as you can see over there, you go back, you go and open Imenstedta Horn, double click on it, and you have it right there. Now after this you have to go to render properties and change this from Eevee to cycles, and now this is going to be huge. 4096 samples is just huge. What I usually do is I change the sampling thing to 32. I click on denoise, and I change this max samples from the render drop down to about 64 or maybe even below. If you want to render quicker, you can just make it lower, so I'm just gonna make it 32 just for it to render quicker for me. And I'm gonna click on denoise and then then scroll down, click on film, and then change this and click this to transparent. And what this does is it makes the background transparent when you render it. And now after you've done all of that, go to color management and click on look, change it to medium high contrast. This is basically just better for the Krunker, I don't know, the Krunker render, that's what I say. Yeah, and all of this would be the same. If you have a good GPU, meaning you have a graphics card, you can just change to GPU compute, and yeah, that's basically it. However, there are some other things that I'm going to show you. However, for now I'm just going to show you what it looks like in the render view, meaning it's not the full render, it's just going to show you what the render will look like at the end. So to do that, just click on this, which is viewport shading, the render preview. So click on it and it will make you a render preview, which basically is how it will look like by the end, like once you finish rendering. And this honestly looks pretty good. It honestly does. But as you can see, the sun kind of strikes this part too much, and this part isn't struck enough by sun or by the light. So what you do is you go back into material preview, yeah, and then go to edit preferences, type in node and find node wrangler and enable it. Just click it and it'll enable. Then you go to your shading tab where you'll have your world settings. You click on this, the HDRI you have, and press on Control T, and now this will automatically bring this in. Now while you're in your render preview, if you want this weird thing to go off, just click on this. It'll automatically remove that. And now while you're in your render preview, you can just change this, the X, the Y, whichever you want, to make the sun move to the other side. So for example, I changed it to about 60, and the sun directly strikes the render, which is pretty good in my opinion. And so now I feel like this is ready for rendering. However, I know a request made by a lot of people, so I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna click on this so I can see everything. I'm gonna drag this. I'm gonna click on object, and I'm gonna click on this, right? I'm just gonna click on this. Now this is where you can change the color of the dye, the color of your skin, of the character's skin, and etc. So first of all, I'm gonna show you how you can change the color. You can just click on this and you can drag it down, up, however you want, and it'll change the colors. And you have to find your own dye presets. I'll just probably post the color codes, which you can copy paste and make the dye yourself. So today for this, I'm going to show you how you can make subsurface scattering for char 5. So click on this, click on Shift D, then drag this down. Now once you do this, connect this Y to this value, and next you just make all of this, everything here, black, 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 and black, except for the skin color. Keep the skin color as it is. And then what you do is you drag this and connect it to subsurface, and just give it a while, and eventually you'll get something like this. Then connect this combined this to subsurface color, and eventually you will have subsurface for your char 5 render, which is basically just smooth skin. And once you have that, you are basically set for whatever you want to render, essentially. And what I'm gonna do before that is I'm gonna click on the weapon. I'm gonna drag this. I'm gonna increase the emission strength to about 2, just because I want to. I'm just a guy like that. And yeah, that's how you render in Blender basically. So to render properly, actually render, you can click on F12 and it will bring up this window, which is basically the rendering window, and it's basically just rendering right now, and it will take a while. It will take a small amount of time, hopefully, and it just depends on your PC. And once it's done, it's gonna be ready for you to save. So basically what I'm trying to say is you haven't exactly saved this onto your computer. You can just render it and just say bye bye. No, you have to wait until it renders. So while we're waiting until it renders, my PC is really slow. I'm just gonna close this. While that's rendering, I'm gonna show you how to save this file in your PC. Just click on File, Save As, and you can find wherever you want to save it as. I'm gonna just save it in downloads. I'm gonna change it to tutorial blend. I'm just going to save it as tutorial.blend, and I'm going to save it as, and now it's going to save your render. So whenever you want, you can just come back to it, edit it in whatever way you want, and it just, you know, depends on you. Now we're just going to wait until this render finishes rendering, which is honestly just the most boring part of the sequence, except for the fact that you have to make a render for the past, I don't know how long I've been making this render for, but hopefully it ends soon so you guys can actually go and make your own renders. Let's hope it's not been going for shit. It's been going for 30 minutes. I've been making this tutorial for 30 minutes. Holy shit. But at least I finally finished the tutorial render I've been wanting to make for the past 6 months. Holy shit. Alright, so after the final sample finishes, it's hopefully gonna end, and I know these things are over here, and then it finally renders. Now what you do after it finally renders is you click on image, you click on save as, and then go to where we're gonna save it as, and I'm gonna put it as tutorial, and just look at this, make it file format as PNG, make it RGBA, 16 color depth if you can, 15% compression, copy, save as render, and just save as image. And finally you're done with your Krunker render basically, and you can use this for any hat you want, any weapon you want. Just download the object, download everything you have, and yeah, that's how you make a Krunker render in about 30 minutes. Of course you can do it faster, but you know, it is a tutorial, so of course it can be a bit slow. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day.